Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly video predictions for what I think is going to happen in next week's episode for The Walking Dead Season 8. This is for episode 2. It's called The Damned. And spoiler warning, if you guys have not seen the premiere episode for The Walking Dead Season 8 as of yet, I am still very excited after seeing it. And if you guys missed earlier, I did a couple of videos on it. I did a video reaction where I watch it with you guys. And then I also did a review over 20 minutes long. They'll both be in the end video screen here for you guys, so you can pick one of those and get to hear kind of my thoughts in total on that amazing premiere. Lots to talk about this week and have lots of videos coming for you guys, so send me all your questions in the comments below for Q&As, because there's just so many scenes, like for example the one with Michonne and Carl, where she tells him that this is his show. So it's just some really cool stuff in the premiere, a lot of stuff in it, and lots of videos coming soon for you guys. So for this one, what do we think is going to happen in the second episode, The Damned, for The Walking Dead Season 8? So this episode, The Damned, you know, it makes me think mostly of the Junkyard group, The Damned. I suppose it could be referring to the saviors that are at the different outposts right now that Rick and the others are coming for. So Rick and the others have pushed the zombie herd. They've taken out the sanctuary, so to speak, and pushed everybody down and in to the sanctuary. The survivors at the sanctuary, such as Simon, Negan, a lot of the others that were there earlier, Dwight and Eugene, everybody got to be kind of trapped right now, kind of pushed back. So while they're in that state, it looks like to me the groups are going to probably, these different groups, Alexandrians, the joint survivors as a whole, are going to attack the outposts, it looks like. So the different outposts that the Saviors have, because the Saviors do not just have one location. The Sanctuary is their kind of home territory, so to speak, but they have other locations as well, too. Of course, we've seen throughout the series so far. So the plan involving, this is the synopsis description, Alexandrians, Kingdomers, and Hilltoppers unfolds. As Rick continues to fight, he encounters a familiar face. So this one is the one topic of discussion, of course. Who is the familiar face that Rick is going to run into? You guys can write your comments below. I think it'd be interesting if he ran into maybe the Junkyard group, the Damned, maybe running into Jadis or somebody else like that unexpectedly. You know, a familiar to him, right, encounters a familiar face. So someone like Sherry would not be familiar to him, I wouldn't think. You know, we'll have to see. I mean, could it be somebody else that's kind of escaped? Dwight, somebody like that? You got to leave the comments below and let us know what you think, guys. Because as far as predictions go, I mean, geez, it could be Morales. No, I doubt it. It's just hard to say. It's hard to say who it could be because there's so many characters now in The Walking Dead. Who could this familiar face be? You know, maybe we go with the Junkyard group as maybe most likely right now, because the episode name just really makes me think about them. There is a sneak peek, which the link will be in the description too, so you guys can go ahead and check that out, where you have the Savior satellite outpost that we have seen before, you know, in Season 6. Yeah, Season 6's second half. We see the group kind of attack the place and kind of take it out. But of course, that was when they were not under Negan. Then later they were under Negan. So, you know, we're to imagine the Saviors have repopulated that outpost because it's a very secure location. And they've even fortified it. They've actually added a zombie moat, it looks like, which I think is kind of a neat concept because I've never thought of that before. But they've basically taken, you could see in the sneak peek, fences, and they have allowed a whole bunch of zombies to be inside the fences as kind of a warning mechanism for if anybody is kind of coming through, they're going to have to get through that, make some racket, and then they'll know that someone's coming in. So very secure location for sure. And that's one thing with the Saviors, I think, is that they are very smart about, is they've chosen some good locations to have as outposts, right, that are a little bit tricky to get into, you know. It's not like some of them are sophisticated. Some of them have lock and key, so it's not so easy to get in. You might have to blow the damn door down or something. So it's a bit tricky to just clean out the Saviors. It's not that easy. It's just you know, swooping right in and killing everybody. It's definitely tricky to have to sneak in and get into these spots. We also don't know if the others were able to get the word out that the Saviors as a whole are totally under attack by Rick and the others, and that the outposts need to be extra careful right now because of what's happened. We don't know if the Saviors got that word out to the other locations, so it's hard to say. But in this sneak peek, we see Morgan, we see Tara, and some of the others, Diane with her arrows, which is pretty cool. And so it's got the Savior outpost, we got Jesus there too, and he says, they see us, they fire a gun, we're not getting in. Like, that's it. If they alert them anyway, there's no way for them to get in the place. They don't have the ability to get in, and so they have to kind of find a way to sneak in. So this one looks a bit tricky for them. We'll have to see if this small group is able to kind of get in there and get through this moat. It certainly does look fun, and I think Morgan's asking Diane that because he wants to be sure that she's not going to hesitate to fire when the time comes, and she's going to do what's necessary to take them out right away and not hesitate at all, because if she does and they find out and they sound the alarm, so to speak, that's it. They're going to survive, and the survivors here will not be able to finish the job and clean out whatever saviors are at that outpost. So then we've got The Walking Dead Season 8. It's an official teaser as well. Link will also be in the description to AMC. It's just an AMC's YouTube channel. But it's basically a look at the season. It's not a look at just episode 2. It's a look at the season, so keep that in mind when you watch this promo, guys. We may not see all those sequences in episode 2. You've got Rick walking away as Daryl kind of rides off. There is another scene where Daryl kind of goes down on his bike, so not sure what that's a result of. We've got Ezekiel. We have come this far. Our first victory will allow our second, and so on and so forth. We will not lose one of our ranks, which is kind of funny because there's going to be deaths on both sides. It's a war, so Ezekiel's kind of overly optimistic right now, it feels like to me, and they're going to lose some. Yeah, they have to. They're going to lose some of their ranks for sure. It's a war, so it's what it is. And I think he thinks that the saviors are toast already, and it's not that simple yet. They're certainly down right now, but they're not out. Negan is still alive. Simon is still alive. They're still kicking. Those guns get to the sanctuary. They can free up an exit. So it looks like Rick and Daryl are going after maybe one of the outposts together. And they want to take it down because if they're able to kind of get away, they're going to be able to deliver the proper ammunition and the things they need to clear out the zombie herd that is now at the sanctuary. Because then again, if they do have enough firepower, you can clear them out relatively easily because the saviors were stockpiling supplies. All these groups kept feeding up to them, so they should have the supplies. If they can get them there, then they'll be able to free Negan, the others, and kind of get out. So that's what it looks like Rick is trying to stop. We've got Tara to Jesus. We have a job to do. Jesus saying, we're not here for revenge. And what that means, very hard to say what that's referring to in particular. Maybe Tara getting a little bit reckless, and Jesus saying like, hey, wait, we got to be smart here. We don't want to be killed ourselves and this kind of deal. We can't get overly emotional with this situation. We have to be thinkers, and we have to use good logic in this battle. Rick in a car's chase with someone, looks like kind of a random savior for the most part. Well, we've seen some clips from that in the trailer. Maybe are we to assume that maybe that person is trying to get back with some supplies in the back or something of that vehicle to the sanctuary or something? Hard to say. But you can see in the trailer, Rick kind of goes in and then he kind of jumps, which is pretty exciting as well. So they're really doing a lot of action this season for All Out War, and I gotta say I am really impressed so far with what they brought us in the premiere. Really loving all this action, and it's just, oh man, it looks like it's not going to stop. Gimple said first 4 episodes. So we got 3 more that are going to be really action intense, and then probably regular run-of-the-mill kind of stuff for a few, and then a big one again to have the mid-season finale. So it looks like it's going to be a great season based on the first episode. Carol, if he tells them we're here, it's over before it started. So again, Saviors having some very secure locations. Rick and the others having a little bit of a tougher time than they thought, trying to get in on some of these, it looks like, having to be very sneaky and ninja-like to get into these places. And then we have Negan. We need to win it all. So we can clearly predict that Negan's going to get out of his current predicament, and he's going to get in a position of power again and be dictating to the others. There are pictures of Simon and the others in maybe a darker space inside of the sanctuary, so we're not sure if they had to go underground, kind of go in and close themselves in for a while until they're able to fight their way back and kind of rescue Negan. What's going to happen with Gabriel if they're able to rescue Negan. Are they going to take Gabriel captive? And how are they going to use him later? Will they use him as bait or something? It's tricky to say for sure. Gregory's out there too. So there's a lot of stuff going on. This season has really set us up with some really cool, just a lot of different directions, a lot of different storylines happening all at once. And it's going to be really exciting, man, at least for a few episodes. So predictions here, I guess, is I'm thinking it should be another good episode. You know, probably not as crazy as the premiere, but probably a lot of killing, a lot of shooting, you know, a lot of action, and maybe a twist with maybe Rick getting captured by the Junkyard Group based on the trailer. It's not really a spoiler. It's in the trailer, right? So, you know, is what it is. So somehow the Junkyard Group will come into here. And that's one thing maybe Rick and the others, they could have possibly forgotten about. They could be going after the Saviors, and then all of a sudden they could run into the Junkyard Group. And some of the groups that Rick has are not that big. Like, it looks like him and Daryl are kind of together. You have a few others together at other spots. You know, it almost feels like maybe they should have sent out more people for these takedown operations, because it seems like it almost seems like they're too splintered. Granted, big groups can set people off. So it should be another good episode. Start sending me those questions for the Q&A, guys. There's so much to talk about. Very excited for this week. I hope you liked this video. If you did, thumb it up below. Check out those other videos I mentioned earlier, the review and the reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed the hell out of the premiere. And, of course, I'll have another video for you guys tomorrow, a Q&A, to get things started for this week, leading up to the second episode of The Walking Dead Season 8. So exciting. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. And in those other videos earlier, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. See you guys. Well, I hope you're wearing your subscribing pants.
What?
Your subscribing pants. Because you're going to subscribe to this channel wearing those pants.